Hello YouTube friends. I got the 2010 Odyssey. What happened is you replace battery. Before you replace your battery, you see a battery showing on your dash, right? And then if you don't have a test, then it's hard to tell. But you can take to your local auto part. They can test your battery for you, and also to test your alternator for you. I recommend it for you to have one of this radio transmitter, because when you plug it into your cigarette lighter, always show how much charging you have. Normally a running battery, a good battery and alternator, it should show like 13 plus. I think 13 plus is a good alternator charging. Also, I want you to have one of this digit um, light tester. So this digit light tester can read how many volt you have when battery charging or not charging. Okay, I show you how. Let me crank the engine. So let's say you put it to a negative side and a positive side on this end. Okay, 11.7. okay, so 11.7 is lower than the battery itself. Normally a good battery is showing 12 plus. So this means that drain your battery while the car is running. Now, not always happening too. Sometimes the alternator is good, but your fuse on the charging blow or relay that is not functioning. Sometimes cause like that too. But you can always take your alternator to the auto part and they can test it for you to see if alternator is good or not. But that is, in this case here, like the Odyssey, the alternator is not easy removing because it take a lot of part out. The other day I have a 91 Lexus LS 400 coming in and not charging, so they bought the alternator and let me install it. So I did install to that. I didn't check the fuse first, so come up to the fuse is blown. So that's what it's done. That's not charging. But I already returned the core and put a new alternator. So boom. Sometimes customer does not know. They just thought that okay, it doesn't charging, it is alternator, so they bought the alternator and you didn't check. So that's why you do double work and lost the alternator, a good alternator, and then you still don't, you have to buy a new 120 amp fuse for it. So I believe this 120 amp right here is the one that broke. If this one that's not functioning, so that's not getting charging. So I'm not sure this will be the same exactly, but normally a big amp alternator will be applied to that, not a little small 10 amp or 15 or 20 amp over here. Okay, so that's just my recommendation. Check your fuse first before you even replace your alternator, because that happening to me. Okay, so let me starting to removing the alternator and put new ones. Okay, you know how to take this cover out. Just use the screwdriver. Now before you're touching your alternator, make sure you disconnect your ground battery first. Pull this up. Okay, I'm gonna put some old clothes under here so it will catch all those power steering fluid. Make sure the reservoir is lower than this hole so it won't drip so much. Okay, got some drip, but I'm going to use my glove here to cover this side so it won't drip anymore. Like that. Okay, on this side I'm going to put some towel paper and insert into here so it won't drip. You might not be able to see it, so I'll show you that the detensioner, the belt detensioner is which one. Okay, now you use the number 19 and go right here. You can do it with the bolt, but don't do the bolt one. Okay, do the one right here, which is safer for you, because the bolt, you can strip the bolt, then you have trouble. Detensioner push towards the passenger seat. Okay, to make sure you can feel your belt right here, lose it. If it doesn't loose, that means you are do the wrong. Okay, but you push towards the back of the wall, and then you can do kind of very tight. So you have to use something longer, so it won't be too tight. See, now I detensioning this one right here. Okay, this is 12 millimeter on the alternator. You have to have a magnet. You can grab one of these from the auto part or 99-cent store, they do have it. So don't buy expensive stuff that you don't really use all day long. Okay, I'm going to remove my reservoir. Unplug this side. You don't have to, probably, but I think easier just removing the whole thing. So this will be out of the way, so it will not have anything to block in your way. Okay, I'm going to remove my 10 millimeter reservoir holder right here. So I will yank this around so I can remove my alternator out of the way easy. Okay, and there's a clip right here on the power all charging power. Just move it too, so you can move it around, so that won't be on your way too. And also, if you want, you can detach right here. Okay, like that, so you can have this, you know, open space like this, so your alternator can come out easy like that. And plus you have more room right here too. On top right here, which is the bracket, right? Take this bracket out too, because if you don't take the bracket out, the bracket kind of blocking, so you can't really can remove the alternator out of the way. So I recommend it to take the bracket out, but take the alternator bolt out first. Okay, which is the one right here, and then you can take the bracket, which is the one right here on top. My hand blocking you, camera, so you know what you do here. If you coming to this point right here, yeah, be careful you drop the bolt to the bottom of the seat, then you will have a hard time to find it. Okay, see that this bracket here need to come out. Okay, now see, now you got a lot of room right here. You don't have no problem to get the bottom one. The bottom one's easy. You see this right here? This right here is the one that you need to take it out. That's the only one that's right in the front here. So now it's come off. So sometimes the alternator is stuck, so you have to pry with the pry bar to get this thing out. Okay, be careful, pry the back here, because sometimes you pry in the wrong place. Don't worry about the alternator, because the alternator you got a new one already, but the main thing down here, you have to pry the back of the engine to the alternator. So make sure you don't damage your engine. Okay, not sure my camera can see it, but there's where you put your 19 socket to detention your belt. You can pry the alternator with the pry bar like this, and it should coming out pretty easy. Okay, See that? That making it easy for you. Okay, now it's coming out. Big pry bar is plus, okay? So now my alternator, I can turn a little bit so I can detach the power on this side. So there's a plug on the back of the AC alternator, that the wire that go to the compressor. So that wire is right in the back of the alternator, so you need to detach that first. Okay, let me see. Just like a puzzle here. See, this right here is on my way, but it should be able to come out. Okay, let me show you how we get it done. So what you do is just push this one all the way like this, and then you can pull the alternator out this way. Okay, so pretty easy. Okay, simple. Okay, before you install your alternator, you can use something that bigger than this around here and screw in from the outside here to in. But okay, this is what I'm going to do. I will insert this one inside there, come out to this nuts right here like this, and then I'll using this nut to bring that out. Because the reason I'm using this side, because this will be cover the hole right there. Let me show you. Let me put it in there so I can show it. Okay, you see right here, so you can put your 10mm socket and then you bring that in. Okay, because I hold on camera, so I can't really use my two hands. You can use hammer to hammer, but it's kind of hard for me. You don't have a lot of space down there. You use a little tiny hammer, it does not working that good. So this is only way that you can do it best. But if you don't have any of this, then it will be hard too, because I have this socket and I have this bolt here, so that's why I can use this right here. As you can see, this side flush. Okay, not sure my camera can see it, but look at this flush. So when you insert in there, this won't against your alternator, so it just slide in. So that make it easy. If you can hit the hammer. If you can't, this way, then that would be the best. Okay, do the same thing when reversing. Just push this out of the way, so that way you have room to drop these things in. Like that. Super easy. Okay, now you see my alternator is already fitting inside there, so you're ready. Just insert this in. Okay, because when you're pounding this, then it's a lot of room, so it fit pretty good. I just put the top one. Okay, so the top one, and then put the alternator one. Okay, and the top one's a 12mm. You can do either one first, don't matter. Don't have to do all the way in, just slightly. So the bottom one, remember, because you're pushing out on that pin, so you may have longer to push that pin back again to your alternator. Okay, so make sure you put your hand on top. Not super tight, because this is 12mm. You can break this if you over torque. It's everything done. So let me connect my ground battery, and let's go crank it up to see if I have charging. As you can see, it's 13.9. So let me get my camera closer so you can see better. Okay, see 13.9. So it's a very good charging. Okay, So that's good. Thank you for watching, and now you know the easy way to remove your alternator. You don't have to go under, you don't have to remove the radiator, you don't move anything else, just the reservoir and pushing the windshield washer, and make sure the top bracket is out, and that's it. Approximately 1 hour or less. I would say the way you do it, probably 30 minutes to an hour. The most is 1 hour, but 30 minutes you should be able to get it out. It's not hard, it's very easy. Okay, thank you for watching. Please help me subscribe. Okay, bye bye now.